The next postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. A game 6 for the ages. Cat, another triple-double. Look at the ball movement. OG Anunoby, 26 of his 29 in the first half. Mikal Bridges, excellent game for him. He had 24. Knicks fans outside of MSG loving this. 140-89. Knicks advance over the Hawks in 6 games. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. What an amazing performance. Bill Pidto, Alan Hahn, and Wally Szczerbiak. We've been fortunate enough to watch a lot of Knicks basketball. We've worked together we're really lucky to have been colleagues for all these years. We've never seen anything like what we saw. That's why you got to watch. It was just amazing.
It was the greatest performance in playoff history for the Knicks, and that's saying a lot considering how much history this franchise has. And it says also a lot about what this team's about, what this team has, and what this team can do.
Yeah, it's a reminder that this team is legitimate championship contenders.
All right, Jalen Brunson joins us now from Atlanta. Jalen, thanks so much for your time. That was an amazing performance. Take us through that first half. What made you guys so effective right off the opening tip?
I think the way we were playing defense, we were finding a way. They went a quick run early in the game, but we found a way to stay poised, stay locked in, kept getting stops, kept creating turnovers, getting out in transition. Just made the game easy for us.
Yeah, Jalen, you guys answered a 9-0 run with a 31-4 run, just so you know. What changed between Game 3 and Game 4 for this team?
I think we just need to lock in a little more. There's 2 one-point victories that we could have won. 1-point losses that we could have won, but I think our focus changed a little bit. Attention to detail really matters, and we just found a way.
Jalen, it looks to me like this team continues to gain confidence. Guys are just playing their best basketball when it counts. What do you think has been allowed this team to do this?
I think just that. I think the confidence that we have, playing for each other, just finding a way just to stick together, most importantly.
Jalen, thank you so much. Congrats on a phenomenal game, a great series, and we'll talk to you in the next round, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It's amazing. Jalen Brunson scored only 17 points, and the Knicks scored the most points they've ever scored in a playoff game. He only scored 17 points. Cat had a triple-double, took only 4 shots.
Took only 4 shots, yeah. This was the epitome of a team win, right? Of a team performance. And also, when you think about the 2 top stars, all-NBA players on this team, in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, it was a guy that we've talked about this entire series, Wally, OG Anunoby, that was such a difference maker as well. But as we talk about, again, the team effort at both ends of the floor, including defense.
Yeah, and this is just why, like I said, this team has been built to win a championship. And there's nothing short of winning a title that will lead to the expectations that this team wants coming into this season. And we're reminded of it. We saw it. This team has a level that I don't know if they even knew they could get to. This team was really good last year. They were Eastern Conference finalists. This year, you can see what this coaching staff has unlocked in this roster.
But how about after Game 3? We're like, oh, my, what's going on here?
That's when you find out about your team.
Right.
That's when you find out about what your team and your coaching staff is really about. When your backs are against the wall, when the pressure's at its tightest and at its highest. And we learned a lot about how good this team can be. You need to go through those moments. Mike Brown's been saying it all season long. You need to hit some adversity to see what you're really made of and see if you have each other's back when you're going through tough times. And that's what champions are all about. When you need to step up and play your best, you deliver. And this team did it. Now they have to continue to do it, and it's going to get harder and harder and harder as you advance in the NBA playoffs. But wow, did they pass the first round with flying colors.
And, I've always talked about with teams that you have to go through the adversity and the pain of losing in the playoffs to learn from it, and then the next year where you go from there. And that's why the core of this group that has been together for a couple of years, and they had a long run last year with Karl-Anthony Towns as part of it, that's what they can build off of. That's what they can lean on. And in those moments, when I talked to those guys after that game, the Game 2, they all talked about what was in that locker room and what they knew they had in that room. And then on top of it, there's Mike Brown, who is new to this group, But the adjustments that he makes, and sometimes is willing to take a backseat to his assistants and even to the room. What do you guys want to do? What will you make happy? He was making adjustments in this series, and we said it in pregame, that became checkmate.
One of the things that the Knicks have shown here, OG Anunoby is now become an elite scorer. I mean, he's consistently scoring 20 points a night. He's our New York State Lottery power player. Had his best half, playoffs or regular season, ever, with 26 points in the first half, 29 for the game, ties his career playoff high for a game. He shot 11 of 14, Wall.
I know. He came out in that first quarter, and he's showing us stuff that we haven't seen in the last couple of years since he's been traded into a New York Knicks uniform. I mean, his arsenal offensively, he's unguardable when he gets involved. And he's an elite finisher around the basket. Karl Anthony Towns unlocked that in this series. And then when you start getting those layups and dunks, the threes just start flowing like water. The off-the-dribble game was really good. It didn't affect his defense. Obviously, he really made Jalen Johnson's life very difficult. But overall, the way he's playing, you add him to the third All-Star mix with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, this team is playing scary basketball right now. They really are. Their confidence is through the roof. The coaching staff has unlocked it.
Yeah.
Plus 84, Allen.
The real OG.
Plus 84.
Plus 84?
I mean, look at the that plus minus blows your mind, right? But the shooting percentages.
Yeah.
61%. The rebounding, which I don't think we've talked enough about. He has been a big-time rebounder in this series.
Yes.
But and the three-point shooting again at 56%. The steals and the blocks as well, 1.8. It's the all-around game that he brings. And I'm telling you, what I think you saw with OG is a player that got extra locked in, especially once Karl Anthony Towns became the point of attack, hub of the offense, because his cuts were being found. And when they were doubling off him, he was killing you with those threes. I think it's amazing to see what they've unlocked with this offense.
Yeah.
And it's not just what they've unlocked for
shown
Towns.
it all season. They completely changed in the middle when your backs are against the wall in a series down 2-1.
I mean, there are a lot of possessions, guys, where Jalen Brunson's like in the corner.
Yeah,
totally. And you got Towns operating, OG
that is
posting up, and
elite-level coaching. It's elite-level coaching.
Yeah.
They watched the film, and they said to themselves, Jalen's having a real problem orchestrating the offense with Dyson Daniels all over him and being trapped every time he touches the ball. So we're going to make a really bold move. We're going to take the ball out of his hands. We're going to let Karl Anthony Towns initiate the offense. And it worked like an absolute charm. Just perfection the way it worked. And it's a big risk, but obviously this coaching staff trusts Karl Anthony Towns, trusts the rest of the personnel to take the ball out of Jalen's hands, and Jalen trusts his teammates.
That part, the trust.
He trusts his teammates to let that happen and make it happen.
Yeah, and if they had MVPs for playoff series, this would be OG Anunoby's MVP series.
The Knicks guys win by 51 points, largest margin of victory in franchise history in a playoff game, 140 points scored, most points they've ever scored in a playoff game. We've got a lot more to talk about, an extended post-game coverage show for you. 140-89, a whole lot to cheer about outside MSG at the watch party. Knicks win it, 140-89.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Alvarado, top of the key, screens from Towns, defended by McCollum. Pilot for the free throw line. Anunoby springs free for a top of the key. Three, and connects. Everything's dropping in for OG Anunoby tonight. He's got 17 points in 11 minutes.
Kyler Murray with the radio call on ESPN New York. Fans outside MSG loving what they were watching. That first quarter and that first half, we got to go over some of these numbers because they are absolute. We had everybody on the staff looking everything up on all these websites.
A lot of research. Wally loved it. All the numbers, looking them all up, all the
useful.
history.
And that brings us to tonight's thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. The Knicks in that first quarter were up 40-15 after the first quarter. They went on a 31-4, Allen. 31-4 first quarter run.
As I said to Brunson, it was a 9-0 run by the Hawks, and then the Knicks just answered it with the 31-4. And Anunoby's fingerprints all over it. Cat with some defense as well. We talked so much about his passing. And this part, too. The Knicks had 13 assists on 18 field goals made in that first quarter. There was not a lot of ISO. It was defense, ball movement, and running.
And this is on a closeout game on the road. This is not at home. This is on the road. I mean, the fans that traveled down there, New York fans, they were loud, they were boisterous.
Look at this.
Bench comes in and continues the domination. Mitchell Robinson, Clarkson, Deuce, you name it, Alvarado. Everyone just completely locked in, completely bought in. It was an overall just domination. It really was. And you could see Atlanta had no answer. You know, Quinn Snyder is known as a very good tactician, very good coach, but you were right, Alan. He had no more moves on the chessboard.
Ran out of moves.
Done. He was done.
Look at this, guys. Most points in the first quarter in Knicks playoff history. They had 40. Largest lead after the first quarter in Knicks playoff history, 25.
40,
Most
50.
points in a first half in Knicks playoff history, 83.
Wow.
Largest halftime lead in the history of the NBA in the playoffs. 47-point halftime lead. And the run, guys. We mentioned 31-4.
Yeah.
The total run was 63-11. Wally, you are the former pro. You're the guy that can play. Have you ever 63-11?
And it's in a game 6 where you've seen the same team 5 times already. I mean, that's the crazy part.
Right.
Normally, a game 6 situation, game 6 type situation, it's a slugfest because you don't know what the other, you know exactly what the team's running. It's all defense. You're controlling the tempo, and the Knicks they can be such a good basketball team. We saw it. They're so hard to prepare for. This team has a level that they can get to that I don't think we even thought they can get to. And that's a great sign moving forward as it gets tougher as you advance in these playoffs, because you've got to be able to win a lot of different ways. And this Knicks team showed they can play and win in a lot of different styles and ways.
All right, guys. Monica McNutt on the radio call from Atlanta on ESPN New York. As always, joins us now from Atlanta. Monica, what do you have? What a night, huh?
Pidto, I don't know. Like, I am without words on how to describe what was happening in this ball game, y'all. Like, and here's the thing. I asked Mike Brown pregame can you take us inside the arc of a 7-game series? Because it feels like after game 3, the Knicks turned a corner on something. And he gave the Hawks credit for forcing this team to be better, both the coaching staff and down to the players, and the Knicks raising their level as veteran players. But he said one thing, Wally, and you know this. He said closeout games are the toughest in a series. What closeout game was tough? Because what in the world did we just watch unfold? Like, that was not tough. That was unreal, y'all, and it was so much fun to be here and be part of it.
Now, Monica, we spent a lot of time talking about individual performances, whether it's Cat's triple-double, and obviously OG has been great all series. Yeah. But we've got to talk. I think that run was spurred on mostly by defense, because there was a time in the broadcast, on the TV broadcast, Tim Legler said that the Hawks look rattled. Did you see that from the Knicks defense in that first quarter with how they were just causing turnovers and the Hawks couldn't run anything offensively?
We roll with this team for 82, y'all, and we have seen them play outstanding defense. I don't think I've ever seen them pick the ball off 6 out of 9 possessions, if you will, in the way that they did in this ball game. And so I agree with Tim Legler's assessment for sure. It felt like, and I had this thought during game 5, but I was like, they're on the road, they're traveling, whatever. I thought that they looked a little bit tired in game 5, and when they came out tonight, I didn't think the Hawks were focused on any level. And to the Knicks' credit, they doubled down on what the Hawks could not bring. They brought what they needed to bring to close out this game in droves.
Monica, what are your thoughts on just the way the Knicks can play totally different ways? They can play some iso ball with Jalen Brunson if they want. They can run the offense through Karl Anthony Towns. They can have different point guards coming off the bench, orchestrating the offense, making things happen. What about the versatility of the way the Knicks can beat you?
I love it, Wally. I think that's a great call. And Tyler and I, because, we had time to talk about other things on the broadcast, we sort of took some time to pontificate about what it might look like in the next round, right? The thing why Karl Anthony Towns was so successful, and I loved him as a hub in this series, size is going to change, whether it be Boston or Philly in the next round. That's going to change. But the play that they keep running, and I understand it's just reads in terms of going to set screens to make guys available. To make guys available, I think that is something that will hold even into the next series, and that will help them be able to get to their second and third option, even as they potentially are playing teams that have bigger defenders.
All right, Monica. Round number 2, here we come. As always, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
We out. Sounds good, guys.
This defense, especially here, guys, in the first quarter, you go back to let's go over the last 3 first quarters. 20 points allowed. Last game, 22 first-quarter points allowed. Tonight, 15 first-quarter points allowed. When you are not allowing the other team, Wally, to get going out of the gate, this Atlanta group, seemed to, as we've talked about, demoralized by their inability to do anything early in these games on offense.
Completely demoralized. And we know the Atlanta team was built with defense kind of first. Right. They went in that direction, and they were going to try to manufacture as many points as they could. But Karl Anthony Towns, the way he's defending the rim, the way he's playing pick and roll, I mean, he just looks outstanding out there. And then you come in with Mitchell Robinson, you put those guys both on the court together, and it is a scary-looking defense. You know they have length on the wings, which is huge. And then the coaching.
Effort. Just look at the effort.
The effort and the coaching of the coaching staff. Mike Brown, I've said this all along, his backbone is defense. Yep. He has gotten this team and each individual player to buy in and play the best defense they possibly can. Look at a guy like Jordan Clarkson. He's been kind of, languishing with Utah on a bad team, getting 15, 20 a game, winning sixth man of the year type stuff. Comes to a winning team where he needs to pick up his defensive intensity. Mike Brown has unlocked him on the defensive end of the floor to play championship-level defense.
And remember, this was after he was taken out of the rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the point I think Wally's making.
That's coaching.
Is he comes
That's
in.
coaching.
He comes in to provide scoring off the bench, so he plays early on, and then Mike Brown says, I can't play you because you're a defensive liability. You got to get better at that. And Clarkson doesn't take it personal, doesn't get upset, doesn't complain. He's like, I got to be better, okay. And he figured out a way once he got back in the lineup. He stayed ready, scored, and knew I'm staying on the court with my defense. Right. And that's the foundation here. But, 8 turnovers the Knicks forced in that first quarter, held them to 1 for 7 from 3 shooting, which for the Hawks, 3-point shooting was everything for them. Had 7 steals and 3 blocks. I mean, that was a defensive clinic in that first half. So, yes, 40 points were scored, but they held their opponent to 15. And by the way, that's 3 straight games now, holding them under 100 for a Hawks team that was a high-scoring team because they were able to get out and run. That's great defense, and you said it before the show, in the pregame show, back-to-back games winning 15 more points. That's now 3 straight in the playoffs. They've never done that.
This one was 51.
Yeah, but I'm saying they've never done that before. Right? So this is a run of defense for this franchise. When you consider the great defense of the championship era and the Ewing era, this is right there with it.
All right. It was a very happy group at the watch party outside MSG, 33rd and 7th. A lot to cheer about tonight as the Knicks advance to round number 2. And let us now join Alex Monaco.
Bill, I'm here at the 33rd Street watch party. What? And it's absolutely bananas. Hugs going around. Left, right, everybody. That's a New York Knicks. Out of 10. They're singing goodbye to Atlanta. It's just the start here at the watch party. Oh, it's popping. Hey. Back to you, Bill.
Alex is a heck of a conductor, huh, guys? Got everybody in tune? Mike Brown, his team's moving on. We'll hear from the Knicks coach after this. The Knicks win Game 6, yes, by 51 points, eliminating the Hawks in 6 games. A whole lot of happy fans outside of MSG at the watch party. Over now to the Wally Wall with Alan and Wally.
It's great to see everybody out there celebrating, having a great time. That's only round 1. We still have more to go in the playoffs. And we've got a lot to show you here on a historic night for the Knicks in the playoffs in a clinching game. And the first thing I want to show you, because this is a team that had 33 assists in this game, the ball movement, the passing, and the way this team seems to just have that telepathy of where each other is. Watch this pass from Jalen Brunson.
Team basketball at its finest. This is when the Knicks won their last championship back in the 70s. They were playing team ball like this. Towns gets the ball there, frees it there. He can see over the defense. Look at Jalen Brunson setting screens. Anunoby the cut. Brunson coming off Josh Hart. I think bringing Brunson off the ball, kind of using him like Allen Iverson used to play, where he was like the scoring point guard, but off the ball, reads the defender, gets the ball here, now frees it here. Now comes the defense. Still got time on the shot clock because Josh Hart pushed the ball up the floor, and they weren't fighting the shot clock to get it over half court. Now you got an extra pass, loop around, Anunoby, dunk. I mean, Anunoby, we got to get a dunkometer on him for this. series.
Several.
He had a lot of dunks, a lot of easy baskets, a lot of slashes. Those type of points are just backbreakers for the defense.
I looked up a lot of numbers during the game. Now he's got me looking up more numbers. I'll be on that during the break. Okay, so more trust, more passing, and more no hesitation here. No. Watch the shot clock here between Bridges and Towns in a beautiful two-man game.
Beautiful two-man game. And this is impossible to defend. Look, there's 10 on the shot clock, but there's no panic. The Knicks are going through their reads. They're going through their plays, which they do. Good screen by Bridges. Notice he doesn't take that screen off. Physical screen forces a switch. So now the switch happens. So what do? Make something happen here. Get the ball, get rid of it, make a play. Still got time here. 2 on the shot clock. Nice backdoor cut. 1 on the shot clock. I mean, this is really, really pushing it here. And Bridges does a good job of hitting the floater at the last second. That is great recognition of going through multiple actions, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense to guard multiple stuff. I mean, there's 8 plays that happened in 10 seconds. 8 different actions. And that's the type of offense that Mike Brown has been trying to get his guys to trust in all season long, and we're seeing all that work pay off in the playoffs.
And with Towns away from the rim, there's no rim protection, so Bridges can go right there and not worry about it. Speaking of defense, we talked about that first quarter. This Knicks defense, I mean, they had the Hawks in the chamber. I mean, they could not get out of it. Watch the help on this play.
Yeah, and it all starts with the point of attack. You have one of the elite wing defenders, Mikal Bridges, guarding Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He tries to get dribble penetration, frees it there. You got 3 long NBA defenders, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and Mikal Bridges converging here. And then look at everyone else. Everyone else is in great position. Active hands, too. When you get a trap like this, don't just be a statue. Try to get deflections. Coaches and teams, they chart deflections because deflections lead to this, lead to turnovers, live ball turnovers, which lead to easy buckets in transition. And notice, look, Gabe Vincent, he's not even running back. He's like, we're done here. We're in trouble here. These guys look demoralized from the start because of the effort on the defensive end of the floor by the Knicks.
Yeah, this is something that if you're a coach, this is almost perfection, is it not? This is the biggest win the Knicks have had in their playoff history. Mike Brown was the head coach of it. And we get his post-game comments now, presented by Chase.
To start off, firstly, just recognizing Atlanta Hawks. It was a good series. Quinn and his staff, I've said this before, they helped us get better. And I think they would say the same about us. Quinn pushed a lot of right buttons. Their team did too. And it made us, have to try to keep figuring out how we can help our guys be better. Appreciate that. Obviously, at the end of the day, for us, it was 2 things. We had to keep them off the glass, and we had to keep them out of transition. And, our guys did a good job of that tonight. 8 fast break points, 11 offensive rebounds, especially when there were a lot of missed opportunities, 14 second chance points. That's a good night in the 2 key areas that we had been talking about the whole series. Had a lot of great performances. OG was phenomenal. He played 27 minutes, had 29 points on 14 field goal attempts, and he rebounded his behind off. Josh, again, the defensive versatility that he brings to the table for us was second to none. Cat, it's his second triple-double in the series. I mean, phenomenal. Nickeil, 10 for 12 from the field. But just as importantly, 5 rebounds. Phenomenal. And then Jalen, he's just doing what he does. He attracts so much attention that whether he's making shots, missing shots, he obviously had 8 assists and 0 turnovers, but he just makes the game easier for his teammates. And, his ability to set screens is second to none. So 33 assists on 50 field goals. Just a really, really good night offensively. But like I said, we did the things that we were supposed to do. And, our players were really, really good with their focus and attention to detail. And like I said, I give my entire staff, Chris Gent, Brendan O'Connor, Rick Brunson, Darren Ermond, Ricky Foy, TJ Saint, Mo Cheeks, Mark Bryant, Chuck Allen. I know I'm forgetting Jordan Brink, Joe. I don't know how to say Joe's last name. Joe, I'm sorry. I apologize. I mean, Peter Patton. I mean, I can go on and on. Billy Lang, on and on and on about the guys that carried me, and I'm the one sitting up here. But those guys were phenomenal, getting us prepared for the series, and they were phenomenal throughout the course of the series. So I take my hat off not only to our players, but to my entire coaching staff, including the video room and the performance group.
Mike, you mentioned the second triple-double for Cat. I'm just wondering that you guys obviously have made a more concerted effort to run offense through him. Is this kind of what you envisioned for the offense all year, or is this kind of specifically what the Hawks have made you do based on the way that they played?
No, I said it before. You know, we changed the way we played offensively and defensively about halfway through the season, and we changed again after Game 3. So, like I said, it's one of the many things I'm saying. I got to give Atlanta credit and Quinn Snyder. They forced us to put our thinking caps on, and they forced us to play different, find ways to make the game easier for our players while putting them in their strengths and still having, you know, and still not, while trying not to hinder them, you know. So we changed what we've done offensively, but again, it was because we were pushed to do it, and we feel pretty good about what we fell into.
Mike, this is, I think the second, maybe the third time you've kind of mentioned that the Hawks kind of made you guys better, and you kind of hinted at what you mean by it now. I was wondering if you could go explain a little bit more about what you mean. Like, how did they actually make you guys a better team during this series?
You know, basically the biggest thing is we had to change our offense. Again, not as drastic as we probably did halfway through the year, but we had to change it because every possession was a grind those first 3 games. Especially down the stretch. And so we had to find more ways to put our guys in their strengths while getting to it quickly, while still having options. I'm not a guy that likes to call every play. I want our guys to be able to read where the advantage is quickly throughout the course of the action. And Atlanta forced us to find a way to do that, and we feel pretty good about where we're at right now. But it happened holistically after Game 3.
Mike, you mentioned the attention to detail, the focus. Those weren't always this team's greatest traits at times during the regular season. And I know you've coached a lot of games bigger than this, but in terms of just a proud victory, where does this rank for you? Like the guys just being willing to not take the foot off the gas?
I'm extremely proud of the group, and that's why I mentioned, I would have mentioned everybody on the team and roster, but you guys know those guys. So, and I would have mentioned the rest of all the performance guys and the rest of the video room and all that, but I don't have a great memory, so I don't know all their names. But I'm extremely proud of the group, and like I said, I'm sitting up here, but my staff was unfreaking believable, and we still have a long way to go. Just as much as the players were. It's a players' league. They brought it, but I got to give my staff a ton of credit, way more than me, and that's why I said that, because it takes a village to do that. Even Derek was great.
Good job, Derek.
Got to be willing to adjust, though, if you're the head coach, and Mike Brown led the way with all the changes that were made. Cat, another playoff triple-double. We'll break down his game coming up. The recent Thank You NYPD concert held at Madison Square Garden will become an annual celebration to recognize the New York City Police Department. A check for $500,000 was presented to the New York City Police Foundation to innovate and enhance the quality of NYPD services, build bridges with the community, and make our city a safer place to live, work, and visit. To learn more about the Thank You NYPD initiative launched by MSG Entertainment, visit msg.com/NYPD. Knicks' largest margin of victory in their playoff history, beat the Hawks tonight by 51, and they advance to round number 2, winning this series in 6 games. Energizing plays presented by C4 Energy. And energy, again, the operative word here, Wally, when you talk about how the Knicks played, especially off the opening tip.
How about this? 1 for 4 from the field for Karl Anthony Towns. 10 for 10 from the line. Point center at his finest. Then you got a point forward in Josh Hart, too. If you want him to run the offense, Jalen Brunson playing off the ball like Steph Curry, just knocking down shots, making plays. OG Anunoby, I agree with you, Alan. He was the MVP of this series. And Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench, bringing the energy, bringing the fight. No pun intended, literally.
I mean, they should have gotten thrown out. I don't know. That was a highlight. Bridges, how about Bridges also in an important game? The way he played early on, great energy, ran up and down the floor. So all that stuff was really
He was 10 for 12, 24 points, Bridges.
Yeah, he had a strong game, very strong game.
Strong game.
Yeah, and also
after not scoring in one of the games in Atlanta to go down 2-1 in that heartbreaking game when they lost by 1. So he bounced back big time. You learned a lot about him as a player and what he's about inside, the way he bounced back the rest of the series after a tough start to this series.
And one more note on Towns. I mean, talk about 7-footers with triple-doubles, multiple triple-doubles. You're talking about him, Jokic. I mean, how many others do you know in NBA history that have multiple triple-doubles in the playoffs?
Yeah, so amazing, huh? Towns with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Serious now after the game.
Cat, what do you think of just such the heavy New York presence that's been out here? We saw Fat Joe here a couple of games ago. Yep. Tonight, the fans was deep. It really felt like they were louder. The New York fans were louder than the ATL fans. How much did that inspire you tonight?
I mean, that just shows the love that our fans got. You know, they support us around the world, and in a playoff series to make us feel at home in another team's city speaks volumes about our fan base. They're the best fans in the world.
Okay, I got 2 quick ones for you. The first one, after Game 3, you guys obviously made a more of a concerted effort to run offense through you. Just what did you think about that decision overall, and to have your only career playoff triple-doubles to come in the last 3 games? Just what do you make of how?
No, I just wanted to answer the call. You know, you asked for the opportunities, and they obliged, and you know, I got to repay that trust and that opportunity. So. You know, I just want to do whatever. I always talk to y'all about impact and winning. They gave me, you know, I got more opportunities to do that, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't not take advantage of them, of the opportunities I was given. And I'm proud that I've been able to help us win.
And second, I mean, you guys go up by 60, 61 at some point today. Just what's it like to be part of that, and then just to keep your foot on the gas and not to let them come back in this game?
I mean, it speaks volumes, you know, about our team. You know, when we're locked in and playing close to our best, you know, we're really, really good. So, you know, it's about finding that team, that version of us consistently, especially in the 7-game series. You know, just tapping into that version of us more often than not.
Okay, speak of that. Have you ever been in a game in the playoffs where y'all played this well as a team and as a unit?
You know, I don't know, but I just know at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how well you play as long as you get the W. You know, I think our fans would have been happy with whatever came as long as the W came. If it was up by 60, if it was winning by 1, as long as we got the win, I think New York was going to be happy and proud. So I'm happy, like I said, that we were able to come out here and find a way to win the toughest game of the series. Like I said last time, it's the game that ends someone's season. It's the toughest one. So we got the job done today.
Just real quick. Has this brought you all closer, even with the coach knowing this is the first year with coach, has it brought you all closer this series?
I think for us as a team, we've always been close. We showed that last year. I think that this just shows, you know, it's been up and down, ebbs and flows of the season. It's understandable the fans didn't know what version they would see of us, especially after during this series, we didn't play our best basketball. And for us to make a statement about who we could be when we're playing at, we're clicking on all cylinders, it's great for us to have this kind of tape so that we could look back at it and see when we're playing our best, what are we doing correctly. But like I said, it's about consistency in the playoffs. How many times can we do that in a 7-game series?
Carl, in the beginning of the year, Mike was talking about how many adjustments you had to make and how much you had to learn in what he was doing. I'm just wondering, at what point in the year did you become comfortable in your role and feel like you could thrive in your role?
I've never doubted my ability. I never doubted the work I put in. I just you gotta adjust. You gotta adjust, especially with a lot of new things being thrown at you and being asked to do a lot more things that are, something that hasn't consistently been asked of me in my career. So it's one thing anyone who knows me has followed my career. I'm willing to sacrifice and do whatever it takes for the team to win. And I think this year I've shown that again, that, whatever the team needs me to do or the player that needs me to be, I'll step up to the plate and step up to the challenge.
He has been fantastic. Take a look at playoff triple-doubles in Knicks history. Cat with 2 in this series. An amazing note here, guys. Players to record a playoff triple-double with under 5 field goal attempts. Cat tonight and Magic. That's it. Cat 4 field goal attempts. Only been done twice in the history
and think about
of the NBA playoffs.
He wears 32 for his dad, who loved Magic Johnson.
There you go. And he's facilitating a lot like Magic Johnson. How about OG Anunoby? 26 of his 29 in the first half. His postgame comments coming up. The scene earlier outside MSG as the Knicks eliminate the Hawks 140-89. Josh Hart tonight, 14 points. Here he is after the game.
Josh, is that one of the best defensive halves you've been a part of?
Yeah, probably. I think everybody was locked in on the task at hand. Yeah, we were locked in, man, so I think so.
How do you explain the ball movement and the chemistry out there in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were focused on having a great attention to detail and, coming out and closing the game out. And that's kind of how we approached the game from the start. And, we tried to just set a tone.
Did you hear some of those Knicks fans in the crowd?
Yeah, man, you always hear the Knicks fans, man. They always travel. So, obviously, shout out to them.
I'm sure in the moment while you were playing, you weren't noticing the number and the margin of victory. But when you look at 61 points up at one point in time, what does that mean to you?
I mean, I think it shows the kind of team that we are, what we can be. We knew we kind of gave 2 games away. So he wanted to come out, obviously, close out the series today and, build off of it.
And how important was it to close it out today and not go for a Game 7 back to the Garden?
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan. Yeah, I mean, that was the plan.
Yeah.
Mikal, just the way he came out tonight, how good was it to see his confidence early on?
It was huge. He obviously helped set a tone, and then coming out of halftime, he had that aggressive mindset and set a tone to start the second half, which sometimes is even harder, especially when you have a lead like that, because obviously mind starts to wander, focuses a little shaky. So he came and set a good tone on to start both halves.
How does it boost your confidence as a team when you play the way you play tonight, offensively and defensively?
I don't think it boosts any confidence. I think it just reinforces the kind of team that we have, the players that we have, the coaches that we have.
How much fun is it when the team's got to go in the way it did in the first half and making history tonight with the largest lead at the half in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's fun, man. I think just getting stops, being connected, everybody on the string, and then just getting out in transition and offense, just flowing, moving it, and just playing off one another.
What about for you offensively when you got to go in and you're looking at the bench, getting fired up? You guys all feeding off of each other?
Yeah, just doing whatever it takes to win. That's pretty much it, and just go do it for those guys.
Mikal, what do you think changed with this team once you guys got down 2-1?
I mean, just even more sense of urgency. And that's really it. Just kept battling, and know it's going to be first to 4. Just keep fighting.
OG's had a dominant series. What did you see from him that impressed you on the floor?
Yeah, just doing everything. I mean, just scoring, defense, rebounding, making plays. You know, he's doing everything out there, and, you know, that's what we need, and I think he's going to continue to do that for us.
Mikhail, what does it do for you guys as a group when OG gets going early the way he did tonight?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Just got us going, got us flowing. And we kept getting stops, but his offense got us, you know, really locked in and got us really in a good mood.
Do you remember the last time you were part of such a one-sided game like this?
Yeah, when I was in Phoenix and I lost.
So this is a better memory.
Yeah.
Mikhail, sorry if you asked, but to get going like you did offensively, how good is that for confidence and moving forward and stuff like that?
It's good. I feel like I'm always confident. It's just, you know, I was happy to go out there and get the win.
How important was it to end it tonight? How important was it to end it tonight?
It was great, real important. You know, a really good team, and, you know, they didn't want to force the game 7 and get us, you know, hopefully extra day of rest.
OG, do you remember the last time you were part of a game that was this one-sided? Was it like high school?
Probably, I don't know. It's been I don't know, maybe high school. Yeah, maybe high school or something. Yeah, just a crazy game.
What did it feel like out there when you kind of realized, oh, hey, we're up 20, we're up 30, we're up 40?
I mean, winning is always fun, and getting stopped, running in transition, moving the ball, it's always fun. So everyone was feeding off of it.
How do you build on this heading into the next series? I know you don't know who you're playing yet, but how do you kind of keep this going while you wait to find out your opponent?
Oh, just no matter who the opponent is, try to carry over this. Just playing the right way, playing defense, getting stops, and then moving the ball, getting good shots.
OG, what did you learn about the team after Game 3?
I mean, I knew we were a resilient group. Last year we've had ups and downs, so I knew we were going to respond. We're capable of it, so I wasn't surprised at all.
What do you think changed with this team, though, once you guys were down 2-1?
I mean, we just played, I guess, better defense. We always try to play good defense, I guess. We picked up the intensity, you know. Sometimes you need to lose a game like that. It's like a wake-up call.
And on the offensive end, though, I mean, you guys had a couple blowouts, especially like today.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, just the way we play. We're capable of a lot. We're a really good, really talented team. 1 through 17, we have a lot of talent, so not surprised at all.
Can you sense it? Can you sense it in the moment when an offense feels like you've taken away an entire half of the floor and just like isn't going to your side? Do you sense that in the moment?
Yeah, I can see eyes, and I can see like the way people are playing. Like I can tell when people are being like.
How does that change how you approach those moments?
Just when there's a chance to be aggressive, go for the ball. I always try to just disruptive, make plays on or off the ball.
What do you think a performance like tonight shows about this team?
Oh, just what we're capable of, and we know what we're capable of. We know we're a great team. We just have to continue to do it.
All right, we told you in the MSG 150, the Sixers have forced a Game 7 against Boston. It's going to be in Boston on Saturday. The winner of Saturday's Game 7 will play the Knicks in Game 1 of the next round on Monday. The Knicks would have home court advantage against the Sixers. They will not have home court advantage against the Celtics. And we're back with more after this. Back now from the Corner 3 presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. So the Knicks advance, blowing out the Hawks by 51 points. Their largest margin of victory for a Knicks team ever in a playoff game. And now, Wally, they're off till Monday. They won't play the Sixers or the Celtics until Monday. What's your thought on that?
Well, just at 2-1, what was the percentage? The useless stat, 72% of teams that
being
take
down
a 2-1
2-1, it was not in their favor to win this series.
Well, Knicks kind of disputed that stat, threw that out the window, like I said. That's just one you can just change that number now. From
the Knicks were the exception to the rule.
Exactly.
Because they were the better team.
Exactly.
And they got themselves
and
right.
And they have the better players.
And they did something they haven't done since 2000, which is come back and win a series down 2-1. So that also shows you how this thing turned. The 3 days off is big. It gets his team rest.
Yeah.
And whoever they're going to play Monday will have to go right from that Game 7 right to wherever the game's going to be. It could be here in New York, could be in Boston.
Yep.
So the rest is, if you're on the Knicks, you're happy about that?
You love the rest. You don't want too much. A couple days off just to recalibrate. You can watch that Game 7. As a player, you want to watch that. You want to see the tendencies. It's a little bit of scouting for you and obviously the coaching staff. So you got to just get ready to gear up and control what you can control and get ready to keep winning.
Hot tub, cold tub, baby.
Let's go.
Lots to cheer about tonight, that is for sure. Knicks blow out the Hawks, win the series in 6 games. Knicks beat the Hawks 140-89. Every Knick that played scored, and they only need 17 points from Jalen Brunson. Knick fans loving that. Here's Brunson now at the podium.
Jalen, I know this isn't, in terms of biggest wins, this isn't the biggest one you've been part of with this organization, but this is a group that at times the focus was questioned, attention to detail. Is this one of the more proud victories you've had as a New York Knick, just the ability to put a team away and handle business, I guess, in that way?
Yes.
Jalen, just that first quarter, for you guys to both ends, I think 7 steals, 3 blocks, shooting I think like 76%. Just is that about? I guess what did you think of that performance? I almost went to a one-word question.
Yeah, I mean the ball's going through the hoop. We were able to get stops, run in transition, get layups. It really came down to our defense, and it allowed us to play fast, allowed us to play on transition, and we made shots.
Jalen, does a performance like this almost show you what the ceiling can be for this group when you guys are all clicking?
Yeah, I think it's most importantly it shows us what we're capable of defensively, and I think that's really important. We still have a long road to travel, and so staying locked in and just knowing what we're capable of is it's really important.
Jalen, when teams are in a series, players often talk about like how the team they're playing has made them better, but Mike has talked about how the Hawks made the coaching staff better. What did some of the things that you saw from the coaching staff as the series developed that helped put you guys in this position?
Yeah, I think I said this a couple of times. It's kind of like a chess match. They were going to make a move, and it was basically seeing how we were going to respond. And I think our coaching staff found a way to respond every single time. So it's a lot of credit to them and the preparation and everything. And we just found a way.
Jalen, congratulations to you, man. I'm a lifelong Knick fan. Been through some terrible years, but you guys definitely bringing a lot of glory back to the city. Thank you for that. Real quick, outside of the playoffs, as a wrestling fan, what did you think of Roman winning at Mania and the Bloodline getting back together?
See, these are the questions I want to ask. I want asked.
If I would have asked you that first, you would have killed me.
Well, you should have asked it first. Very excited. Very excited. I have a handshake with one of our trainers, and we acknowledge him before every game. So.
Who knew, huh? Wrestling fandom.
I knew.
You knew?
We all knew.
All right.
He loves wrestling.
Knicks win it. Jalen and company moving on. Stay with us.
Bridges, alley-oop. Robinson with the right-hand stuff. He's feeling fine. The Knicks lead this closeout game by 41 points.
All right, Tyler Murray, the call on ESPN Radio. Saw the former Knicks loving what they were watching. Mitchell Robinson got thrown out, guys, but he was a plus 29 in 8 minutes. 8 minutes of playing time. And that was a kind of a messy situation there with Daniels. Kind of a cheap shot from the Atlanta Hawk. And thankfully it didn't get worse than what could have transpired here, Wally.
Yeah, Daniels elbows him first, then pulls his arm, tries to yank it out of socket, and then Mitch just goes up to him like, what are you doing, dude? And then there's a bunch of bodies on the floor, including Mike Brown goes down right there. Security for
right
New
there.
York.
Look
at that.
Right in the chest.
I mean, that's an instigation. I'm surprised Mitch got ejected. She has a reason to be hot. He could have done a little bit more because
I think Robinson got re-elevated there.
Right.
Maybe that's what ended up getting him.
Well, that's because he kept talking to him. And Robinson should be elevated. He's lucky he didn't get elevated immediately and start throwing a punch.
Dyson's lucky he didn't get elevated by Mitch in that moment. Because
exactly.
He's twice his size.
And he started the fracas, and then Mitch controlled his emotions, until he was separated, which was good. But what if Mitch didn't?
Daniels kept running his mouth.
Yeah, what if Mitch didn't immediately?
I know. No,
he had to control his emotions.
He did show great restraint.
Then he showed great restraint.
Then that last part set him off, and that got into where it really got ugly. And that's the part where, as the officials, you want to make sure, first of all, you know what the score is.
Yeah.
And you know one team is feeling away because they're getting embarrassed.
One team's trying to instigate something like that.
Because they're embarrassed,
exactly.
right? So they're emotional. And so if you're the officials, that's your thing. Get them out of the game so we don't have any other future things going on here, and the rest of the players know, let's not mess around.
And no punches thrown, no one left the bench. The Knicks don't have to worry about a potential suspension.
When Daniels does something like that, the inclination is for you to retaliate and do something more extreme because he started it.
And he did.
You have to get to the root of these type of issues and problems. And the fact that Mitchell Robinson controlled his emotions and didn't throw a punch, it would have been justifiable he did. The guy took a shot at him like that, a cheap shot, and then pulled his arm. He wanted him to throw a punch. And I give Mitchell Robinson a lot of credit for controlling his emotions.
Yeah,
Imagine being the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. Quinn Snyder, what is he going to tell us after his team loses a decisive Game 6 by 51 points? We'll hear from the Atlanta coach coming up.
Good question.
All right, so the Knicks win 140-89, most points in Knicks playoff history, largest playoff win in Knicks playoff history. If you're Quinn Snyder, what do you have?
First, give credit to the Knicks. That's obvious. Whether it's experience or what you attribute it to, I thought, their physicality, they made it hard for us. And we obviously didn't respond in a way that generated the results that we wanted. But I think even as the series progressed, you can see, what a really good team they are and why they're a contender. And, we didn't have an answer for that tonight.
Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.